6:36, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We have an escalating situation, Pakistan and India, two nuclear powers, and it's kind of a tit-for-tat military confrontation. I want to welcome on Stephen Bucci from the Heritage Foundation. Stephen, always great to have you on board, and I also appreciate the last-minute nature of this phone call. So, real quick. Obviously, India is an ally of ours. We do a lot of trade with India as well. And this situation does seem to be escalating. We explained it a little bit earlier, but talk about how we got to this moment where Pakistan is now saying that what India is doing is an act of war.
Well, first people need to understand India and Pakistan have been adversaries since the two countries were given freedom by the Brits. There was supposed to be one country because of the split between Muslims and Hindus and the emerging civil war that was there. The Brits decided to split it. Predominant Muslims in Pakistan, predominant Hindus in India, but really, really large minorities of the other confession in the two countries. So they've been at each other since that time. And they have armed confrontations on a pretty regular basis. This was the second big terrorist attack. There was one in Mumbai a few years ago. That was a really big one. That didn't cause too much problem between the two countries. They worked it out. This one that happened recently, the Indians said, enough's enough. We got to stop this. They retaliated. Then the two sides started retaliating against each other. India's military is much larger, much more capable than Pakistan's, but both of them have enormous militaries. I mean, it's like World War II level size militaries if these two really go at it in a full-up war, and they both have nukes.
Yep.
So this is a really serious thing, not something that's just going to get waved off and, they'll get over it. This is a massively dangerous situation for that region for sure, but for the world because of the size of the two combatants.
This was this terrorist attack that you're talking about in, I guess, the disputed territory of Kashmir. And
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they say, India says that it was carried out by a group called the Resistance Front that had taken responsibility for carrying out the massacre in Kashmir, accusing it to be an offshoot of Pakistan-based United Nations proscribed terrorist organization called Lashkar-e-Taiba. And I may have shanked that. Pakistan, by the way, is denying those claims. So, I mean, how does India prove, or do they need to prove that it was this particular terrorist organization?
They only need to prove it to themselves to take action. This is a thing people need to understand. International law really doesn't stop a country from retaliating against another country when they've been attacked. And it's based on their analysis of it, not some neutral party's analysis. We like to think that. They try and apply that standard to Israel, and the Israelis tell them, yeah, that's nice. We're going to take care of our own people and defend ourselves. India is saying the same thing here. The Pakistanis, I can't guarantee the Pakistani government, facilitated this or condoned it or even encouraged it. But there's a lot of people in the Pakistani government who are at the radical end of Islam, and they really hate the Indians, particularly over what goes on in Kashmir. And so, it's like when the Saudi Arabian government didn't support Al-Qaeda when they attacked us on 9/11, but there were members of the royal family who did support them. And we had people sue the Saudi government for not doing enough to stop it, and there's still a lot of rancor between us and the Saudis, who are one of our best friends in the Middle East, over that. This is a similar thing. The Pakistani government can deny all it wants, but there's at least people probably in their intel organization, which is known for having the most radical elements in the Pakistani government, who support that. They also support the Taliban and other people. The rest of the Pakistani government would rather be Western oriented, would rather not be involved in that stuff. They see it as a losing effort for the country as a whole, but it goes on. And now the two countries, are up, as we would say, both up on their hind legs, ready to fight. And it just starts to take on, you recall the beginning of World War I. We had the killing in Sarajevo of Archduke Ferdinand. One country started threatening the other countries, and then their friends started piling on, and pretty soon we had a world war. We don't want that to happen here. So the rest of the world is probably not going to be able to stop this, but they could hopefully keep it contained as much as you can with militaries the size of what we're talking about. But this should now be jumping up to the number one priority on the Western, but definitely the American national security crisis list. We're big friends with India, as you mentioned in the intro, a lot of trade with India, but we're technically an ally of Pakistan too. When I used to be in Special Forces, I was operating in Pakistan with my 5th Special Forces guys, working with their military, and I had brothers from the 1st Special Forces group who were across the border operating with the Indian military. This is a dangerous and difficult situation to sort out.
So how does, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, Donald Trump, so you said, Pakistan is technically our ally too. How do I ask, who is the bigger ally? How does America navigate this with two nuclear powers, one an ally, one a bigger ally, I would say, and with trade and everything else, India? How does President Trump and Marco Rubio, how do we navigate this?
Well, both the ambassadors in those countries are probably at high speed right now and have been for the last week or so, talking to their respective host governments, trying to communicate to them, this is a bad idea, please back off, offering perhaps to be an honest broker between the two. President Trump was elected because he wanted to get us out of wars. So this is not one that we should jump into on one side or the other unless we find evidence that if, say, the Pakistani government was behind this, then that would tilt us probably towards India. But I'm guessing what you're going to find out is there may have been actors involved, but not the head of the government, not the leadership of the entire organization or the nation. So this is going to be one where we're going to have to try and get them to sit down, talk, declare a ceasefire, back off, and hopefully sort this out short of war.
Stephen Bucci from the Heritage Foundation joining us. Stephen, does it matter that India says that they were very careful not to target Pakistan's military sites? They say that they were very purposeful in going after the terrorist organizations and where they're planning and plotting these kinds of attacks?
Yeah, that's a huge thing. That shows India is trying to focus on the terrorist organization, not blaming directly the government of Pakistan. But I got to tell you, remember, nothing in the military is as precise as us military guys like to portray it as. When you start shooting at another country, things go boom, people get hurt, and many times not necessarily combatants, no matter how hard you try to avoid that sort of collateral damage. Once that starts, then the Pakistani government starts getting pressure from its domestic constituency to do something back again, and now we've jumped it out of the Indian government against the terrorists to the Indian government against the Pakistani government, and now as they say, the genie's out of the bottle, and things really get difficult very, very fast.
We have a big trade agreement with India. We get billions of dollars in, I guess, oil, aviation, IT, but also a ton of generic drugs come from India. So if this continues to escalate, ultimately, what would the impact be on the American people, if any?
Well, to look at it selfishly, at a time when we're trying to move away from a dependence on China for all that same kind of stuff, and some of it was going to be moving to India. And we talked with the Indians, and President Trump was working his tariff tricks there to try and get as good a deal with India as possible. The Indians like that. The Indians are massive, capitalists, if you will, as far as they're developing their country. They want that. If this starts to screw that up, there's going to be more pressure on our economy because we're going to be missing things that we need that we thought we were going to use to replace what we're already going to be missing from China. So it's a monkey wrench in the cogs there, to mix my metaphors, if that starts to happen for the president's economic plans. That's not good. We don't want that. It could cause more pressure for inflation, prices to go up. That's not what we're looking for here in the U.S.
Well, one thing, Stephen, I want to get your input real quickly on this tease from Donald Trump yesterday, and that's not it.
You scared me.
I know, it scared me too. I'm sorry, Stephen. Hold on. That was our great tease bed. Listen to this.
That we have some very big announcement to make. It's not about trade. It's about something else, but it's going to be a truly earth-shattering and positive development for this country and for the people of this country. And that'll take place sometime within the next few days.
All right. So, Stephen, any thought as to what the president has up his sleeve?
That one, you got me. I don't know what he's referring to. It's so general. It could be, lots of things. It could be an energy-related thing. It's obviously, in his mind, something that's going to have an effect across the country, not just in one region or one business sector. Energy, a change maybe to somebody in the government, but it doesn't sound like that sort of thing. That they try and do a little more low key.
He's setting the bar high.
Yeah, hugely. I don't know.
All right.
So I'm going to guess energy, but that's not based on anything other than a guess.
All right, Stephen Bucci, great analysis, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much for the last-minute phone call.
Sure thing, Dan. Thanks for having me.
All right. God, I suck.
You have no idea.
Not as bad as you think.
That scared
you know what the funny thing is?
Hell out of me.
I'm like telling Joe, and I'm telling KGB, audio. I got audio, because I'm going to throw him this cut from Donald Trump in that big tease thing. And I hit the wrong button. I'm so irritated.
Because it's probably labeled tease for the news tease, right?
No, I don't. To be honest, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
You just clicked the wrong button.
Well, I mean, clearly, I clicked the wrong button.
I wish there was a camera on me and Joan, because I guarantee she jumped just like I jumped. Like
hang on. I didn't realize this was coming.
Yeah, I jumped. I'm like, wait, did I miss something?
No,
because as a producer, that's a horrifying thing when you know that tease is coming, you're not ready.
Try being a host.
Wow.
And you're like really looking forward to throwing down this audio, and I play this too. Whatever.
Well, listen, in fairness to KGB, it woke him up. So
yeah. I don't need coffee. I just need a blasting tease in my ear.
Hey, by the way, we do have Wednesdays with Wilson. Brian Wilson is going to be joining us coming up here after the news at 7. I bet you do you know who I bet you really enjoyed, because I know that he's listening. Do you know who I bet you really enjoyed my monumental audio screw up? Is Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson, yeah.
He's actually mocking me and laughing at me right now.
What he's doing is saying, hey, I've done that a million times too.
This is the guy I'm working with at 7?
No. Brian never had audio mistakes. Because he, at his home studio, he's got better equipment.
Oh, I see.
He's at Brian has all the accoutrements that we don't have. Hey, moving on, it is 6:51.
I can hear him laughing, by the way.
On Nashville's, I bet he is, on Nashville's morning news. There it is. That's what I should. There it is, right on time, right there.
Right. Now I'm expecting it.
Joan, what's coming up?
We'll tell you why a former police officer is in jail today. Also, a Texas girl is missing, but her mother is not cooperating with police. What's behind that story coming up here at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WT.
Hey, Joan,
yeah.
let me ask you. So are you one of those women who say that getting a woman, your wife, perhaps, whatever, something to plug in is not a good gift? Are you one of those women?
Oh, like for Mother's Day? Or
Yeah, for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. And I'm going to suggest that, if you need a new washer or dryer, go to DT McCall's because they've got great specials going on
stop.
right now.
Right now. Don't stop. No.
So if you're a guy and...
Are you looking in the camera?
And you...
No.
No, I'm not. I don't
She
have
wants me to turn off your mic right now.
Okay, so are you saying that getting something good and plug-inable from DT McCall's would not make a good
a
good gift for Mother's Day?
Unless it's a lighted makeup mirror that you plug in.
So that's a big no to an appliance.
Appliances, no. I would suggest not doing that, Dan.
What if you want a nice, Speed Queen washer and dryer set for mom?
Well,
DT McCall's has right now a great special on those Speed Queens.
That would be terrific if you don't mind sleeping in the doghouse outside for the next maybe week or so.
Do you know what? You get a big WE from me, whatever. It's just not appreciative. I think if you're...
Dan,
yes.
Women will forever love a diamond. The Speed Queen you get on the off day. Like maybe if you need one, you get it next Thursday.
Okay.
So it's unrelated to Mother's Day?
Thank you for the Mom's Day advice, Joan.
Yeah,
well,
you
listen,
betcha.
On that off day, if you need an appliance, go to DT McCall's because they always have great specials on appliances, especially those Speed Queens. They've also, by the way, got lawn equipment, furniture, office furniture, and so much more. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee, Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin. Always online. Check out the Speed Queens, dtmccalls.com.